All right, here we are with IHE member Greg Scavoli. Greg, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Greg, I'm just going to ask you some questions, general questions about hunting. I just want you to answer what comes right out to your heart, and just tell us about it. The first question I have for you, Greg, is who and or what brought you to hunting? How did hunting become part of your life?
I'd say a childhood friend of mine. I didn't learn it actually, even though I hunt mostly with family now. A childhood friend of mine told me that I would love it, and he did it with his father.
Right.
And they weren't really into it, but he got me into it. He got me to get the equipment, got me out in the woods, and for the first 3 years of hunting with him, I never saw one deer in the woods.
And you stayed with it.
And I stayed with it. Yeah, I hunted by myself. I went out day after day. I just didn't know where I was going. I didn't know about scent control. I didn't know anything. And I didn't see a deer. But I loved being out in the woods.
So it's safe to say it's been a learning experience for you?
Yeah, it has. And then going out with guys, my cousins finally, after a few years, going out with guys who actually see deer and get deer made a big difference.
Right,
A lot in a short time.
Greg, if there's one hunter or particular hunters, for that matter, that you respect the most, who would that be and why?
That's a good question. I don't know too many hunters, but of the guys that I hunt with, I'd say my cousin Michael. I admire him because he always took time out of his own time in the woods to just hang back and show me a little something and spend more time with me, tell me what he does, and so show me little tricks that he does.
I've benefited from that as well.
And that's how I got my first deer. Everybody ran out of the cabin and ran to their spots and was getting set up and trying to get their deer, and he hung back. He showed me how to use a climber. He showed me how to tie it up and how to set it up. He told me where to go, and he didn't have to. He could have just ran out and left me kind of standing there with a climber like I had done before. But he set me right to an area where I climbed up, knew how to use the climber, and got my first deer.
That's fantastic.
So,
yeah, like I said, I benefited from Michael's generosity, if it will, as well.
Yeah, his patience.
And he's
as impatient as he is, he's patient.
Yeah, and he's a hell of a hunter, too.
Yeah.
Greg, using just 3 words, okay, 3 words only, I'd like you to describe for me the hunting experience.
Primal. You get feelings that, I like to think that, every hunter from the beginning of time has had when that game is coming into range and you're measuring the distance up, you're measuring, your position, how you turned, every little thing, the wind. So that's kind of a primal feeling. And satisfaction is when you do get something. There's nothing like it. The same as hooking a fish and landing a fish, or getting your deer, getting your game. There's incredible satisfaction.
That's 2.
That's 2. And I guess the third would be time in the woods. It's not all even about the hunting and the kill and the harvest. I've seen all these things in the woods that I wouldn't have seen. The sun rising on when it's snowing, a light snow, and the pink from the sun is coming through, and then there's a fox right there, and you say, God, I would have never been in this position at this time, up in this tree, to see this if I wasn't, dedicated to hunting. So,
right.
I don't know what we call the last one, but just
exposure,
connection to
maybe.
nature. Connection to nature that you get to have just from following your passion.
Right. Absolutely. Greg, in the same vein, using just 3 words, what do you feel are the 3 most important attributes that a hunter should possess?
Perseverance, attention to detail. One little thing goes wrong and the deer is gone. And humility. Yeah. Every time you go out, you get humbled by the little creak of your stand, or a little something that changes the whole hunt. Or when the animal just spots you, you think you have the best spot, you think you get the best scent control, you think you have the best everything, and they come from the opposite side of where you're waiting for them to come, and they just teach you that lesson like, and they spot you, and that's it. So I'd say those are the 3 things.
No, I agree 100%. It's funny, I've been doing these interviews, and there's been some overlap, but there's so many different adjectives, and they're all fantastic.
Yeah.
How everybody's been, explaining them. Greg, is there anyone now that you're mentoring in the art of hunting, or do you have your eyes on anyone for mentoring in hunting?
Yeah, my little cousin Shawnee.
Okay.
I think we're all mentoring him together, and he's turning out to be a great hunter. Every time I take him out, I forget that he's 14.
Right.
He's side by side with me, and we're going out. What are we gonna do? We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And then I remember when he says something like that. You realize he's only 14, and you say, "Oh no, buddy, this is how it is. This is how we're gonna do it." Or, that's not how it works. But you can try that. And so it's been fun mentoring him.
Greg, you hear a lot, unfortunately, about the declining population of hunters or the declining interest in hunting in general. What do you feel the future holds for hunting?
I've never much paid attention to what everyone else is doing. There's a lot of guys in the woods, and everyone you meet is really good people. So if there's a decline in hunters and a decline of people going out into the woods, I think that's a problem because people are losing that connection with getting out in the woods and spending time in the woods. It takes a certain kind of person. So if there's less of those people, I hate to see, what people are spending their time doing.
Do you think
it's more room for us, though? More deer for us.
Okay. Greg, you're an avid hunter. You watch the hunting TV shows, you read the publications, you stay on top of it when hunting season's over. It's not really over for guys like you and me. You see a lot of these shows profiling hunting in different states. Wisconsin, Illinois, Kansas, whatever. What do you see the differences are between those states and New York?
I think it seems like it's a way of life in other places, more so than it is here. I think hunting, when you walk in, some places and you're ready to go deer hunting, people say, what are you hunting? Deer, where? Right down the road. What? And they can't believe it that we're out in the wilderness and we're actually hunting deer. Or even some guys that hunt occasionally will say, oh, I wouldn't eat a deer from Long Island. I wouldn't. They only hunt upstate, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I guess they don't see it as fertile hunting grounds.
Right.
So it's fantastic.
Well, in that kind of segues into my next question. You've hunted both upstate New York as well as Long Island.
And New Jersey.
And New Jersey, for that matter. What are the differences between expanded to New Jersey? Between those three areas, what other type of differences do you see? Or let me put it this way: how is Long Island unique as compared to those other two areas?
Long Island is unique because of the land. You're not hunting on the side of a mountain. There's no distinct, up, that's up, and that's down. There's no which way it's, and you have to really find deer sign and see where the deer are moving, and it's not just the side of a hill kind of hunting. It's similar to Jersey. Jersey has a lot of small areas of woods where they're packed in. There's a lot of deer in some of those areas, but it's just not as much terrain on Long Island.
Land's at a premium.
Yeah, land's at a premium. When you find a little spot that does have some distinctive terrain, it's nice.
Right.
Because you can use that to hunt like you do in other places. But sometimes Long Island, you're hunting on just rolling hills in every direction. So.
Right. Good. Do you have any hunting goals right now?
Yeah, I want to get a big buck from the ground.
From the ground.
I want to stalk on a big buck.
So hard.
And get one.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
So hard. Big buck from the ground.
Big buck from the ground. I've only gotten deer from trees. I've never got a buck or any deer from the ground with a bow. And that's my goal, to get one from the ground.
Right.
On foot.
That's good luck with that, kid.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. That's certainly hard. Absolutely. You've been hunting for a while, Ray. Is there any particular hunting experience that is indelibly printed on your mind?
I guess my first deer. My first deer will always be a stick in my mind, and it was, for lack of a better word, it was bloody, and it was an experience. And
after not seeing him for 3 years, I would hope it would be.
it was eye-opening. I didn't realize what it was to kill an animal.
Right.
And even for those 3 years, maybe I wasn't even ready to kill something and didn't really realize what it was about, what I was actually doing. I was out there going through the motions. But when I actually hit a deer, everything just...
Was it bow or gun?
It was bow, my first deer. And I hit that deer, and that deer let out a scream, and I was brought right to reality of, wow, this is real. This is real. This is what's really happening. And standing over that deer as it was expiring, as it was dying, I had to come to terms with what I'm doing and say, wow, I put a lot of time into this, and I put a lot of energy into this, and I had to put it all into perspective, what I'm here to do, and what I'm doing. And I started to think about nature and how this deer would die in any other situation. If it was run down by coyotes, or it was hit by a car, or it was starvation, or whoever a deer might die, none of it's pretty, none of it's nice, and none of it's, clean and enjoyable to watch. So that's how I made peace with what I'm doing out there and hunting, and I felt good about it.
Right.
This is what I came to do, and I did it.
Right. It's interesting that you used the word putting into perspective.
Yeah, because talking about it and then actually standing there alone in the woods and with an animal that's dying right there, you did it, and that's what changes it all. And then from there on, you either know that you want to be a hunter or you don't hunt ever again after that experience. So that was a one way or the other experience for me.
It was kind of clear which way you went.
Oh yeah. Taking that deer out of the woods was the best feeling in the world. Having my cousins come down and my friends come down and bringing that back to the hunting party.
Right.
That was primal.
Right.
That was a primal feeling.
Right.
It was great.
Greg, you're, like I said, you're an avid hunter. You watch the TV shows. We talked about that. You read the publications. Is there any particular show or publication that you would recommend to hunters?
Well, I love Tread Barter. I don't even know if he's on anymore, but that was who I really enjoyed. And if I was going to watch a show and if it was on, I was watching it to see what he did.
Right.
The Barter Way.
The Barter Way.
The Barter Way, man. Watching him hunt and do whatever, even when he was in a wheelchair, he was inspiring. You couldn't believe what this guy was doing.
Right.
So yeah, I enjoy his shows.
Final question. Greg, how do you feel that IHE and your membership in IHE can be a positive force for hunting, and what do you think we should be doing as an organization to promote and preserve, the sport and the tradition that we love?
Well, I think the best thing would be to mentor young hunters, show young kids what it's about, bring them into the woods, and having them experience everything that we're experiencing. Because the one thing I regret is that I started hunting at 25 years old. That's really late. I look back and say, man, I missed 10 years in the woods. I could have had all these different experiences, all these different things. It's just the path that I took. But I think that would be really important to preserve what we love and just bring the next generation into the woods.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, kid. Thanks a lot, Greg, for your time.
My pleasure.
See you out.
Thanks,
see you field.